March of 2024, I was diagnosed with cancer, frantically trying to figure out what the next steps in my life were and how I was going to be able to provide for my family.
We try to have different campaigns to raise awareness, not just to raise the funds, but also to make sure that all 25,000 plus of our agents know that this is available.
Allow yourself to be vulnerable and reach out. Like, don't be afraid to reach out just because you think, oh, well, yeah, I don't want to bother them or something like that.
Hey there, I'm Leo, your co-host powered by Real. Today's episode is a reminder that Real isn't just a brokerage, it's a community. You'll hear from Matt Ferrell, Christian and Ashley Harris, and Libby Ashcraft as they share personal stories of hardship, resilience, and the One Real Impact Fund, a program supporting agents during their toughest moments. From illness to disaster, these aren't just real estate stories. They're about showing up for each other when it matters most. Whether you're learning about the fund or the culture at Real, this episode is a must listen.
Hi, I'm Libby Ashcraft with Real, and I'm excited about our podcast today. We've got some special guests, Matt Ferrell, as well as Christian and Ashley Harris. And I'm going to do a little intro and then they can introduce themselves. But I'm so excited. We're talking about a really important topic today, One Real Impact. This is an agent assistance fund that was started in October of 2023 to provide help for our agents at some of the worst times of their life. And we have grown the fund to be almost $300,000 in a very short amount of time. And what's really great about this is a fund to offer grants. So these are not loans. Nothing is ever asked to be paid back. And again, the intent is to help agents at some of the hardest times of their lives. We have a program where you can make a donation with every single transaction. It could be a set amount, it could be a percentage, but this is something so you don't even have to think about it. You just, every transaction it goes through. I'm really excited to raise awareness about the fund so that we can also make sure that when agents are in a time of need, that they know that they can apply, because with any new program, it takes a lot of time to get the word out and spread the message. So that's what we're here to do today. So I would like to introduce Matt and Christian and Ashley. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having us on.
So while I'm so thankful that you're here today, it's you unfortunately had to go through a really hard time. And so I just thought we could open it up and have you tell us a little bit about your situation and then how you heard about One Real Impact and how it helped you and any details you want to share. And so Matt, if we could start with you.
Yeah, thanks again, Libby, for having us on the show. It's been a really amazing process on everything with the One Real Impact and just how much support Real's given altogether. So a little bit about myself really quickly. My name is Matt Ferrell. I live in Arkansas, Little Rock specifically. So I'm right here in like the central hub of Central Arkansas. And I've been with Real since April of 2022. I've been in the real estate industry since 2021. So my time out of Real is less than my time with Real. But it's been a wonderful time with Real. I found out about the Real Impact Fund through an interesting situation. So in March, I was diagnosed, March of 2024, I was diagnosed with cancer and was in a time where I was not able to work and do my real estate that do my business that I would normally do, and was really frantically trying to figure out what the next steps in my life were and how I was going to be able to provide for my family. We had just had our firstborn son about 3 weeks prior. And so nobody wants to get that cancer diagnosis right after one of the greatest moments in your life to have now one of the most traumatic and stressful moments of your life. And so the One Real Impact Fund was actually told to me by our team leader. He happened to mention that he had heard from, I think maybe it was a mastermind group, or maybe it was Rise, one of the previous Rise conferences, that he had heard that it was out there and something that I should look into. And so I went through the process, and everyone, honestly, who has been in that impact fund, like that little support group of whoever is handling it, they are phenomenal because they bent over backwards to help make sure everything was in the right spot, in the right order. And yeah, they made a huge impact on my life. So
That's incredible. And I'm so glad because you're cancer free now, aren't you?
yes, I got in full remission in September. So it was like 8 long months of going through chemo and having to lose my hair and definitely have some big struggles there. But yeah, we got the okay that everything is good to go. And honestly, again, like I wouldn't be here without the great help of my doctors, but also like we wouldn't have been able to pay our mortgage and like pay for bills and whatnot without the Real Impact Fund.
That's incredible. Ashley and Christian, can you tell us a little bit about your story?
Sure, absolutely. So we've been with Real about a year now. Live in Southwest Florida, have a real estate team in Seattle and here, and just going to celebrate our 2-year anniversary. So of being married. So, but I don't know if you want to tell a little bit about kind of our experience and how amazing Real's been with the Impact Fund and being in Florida. A little thing called hurricanes that are happening quite a bit that impact us a lot.
So, like Christian said, we run a team in Southwest Florida. So, for those of you in Florida, it's like on the Gulf side right here, not Disney. And even though we've only been with Real we're celebrating 1 year this month, we heard about the One Real Impact Fund through Libby. One of the amazing reasons why agents should go to the in-person events is to meet and connect and collaborate with other agents within the company. And that's how I met Libby. And so meeting in person, we started that friendship, and then we were able to bring that in-person friendship online. So, Libby and I were connected on social. And so a few months later, after we had first met, Libby watched our story unfold online. I am a native to Florida. I know we're rare, but I am born and raised in Florida. And just the past couple of years have been the absolute worst hurricanes we've ever seen. Not only with like the wind damage, but also with the flooding and the storm surge. We've had our property now flood 3 times in the past 2 years. And Libby saw this online back to back during Hurricane Helene. We had 3.5 feet of water inside, and during Hurricane Milton, we had 5 feet of water inside.
Which was 2 weeks later. So
I was just going to say that, just a couple weeks later.
got remediated, dried out, and then literally the day next,
Right.
flood 5 more feet inside.
So totally gutted. Everything that we had salvaged from the first hurricane, we lost. And the second hurricane, it was being stored in our next door neighbor's garage. So when that next hurricane came through, the garage blew open and all of our contents, furniture, everything was all over the neighborhood. And so Libby had reached out to us, seeing what was going on with us down here in Florida, and thankfully she did. It was such a huge blessing because yes, we had insurance, homeowner insurance and flood insurance, but contents weren't covered on the policy, and we lost thousands and thousands of dollars in furniture and items,
And we couldn't live there, obviously, and so
Right.
we had to find another place, and just the expenses built up, the time to manage all that, and like Matt, that distracted us pretty heavily from being able to sell real estate. And so when Libby told us about the One Real Impact Fund, I mean, it came to the perfect time to help cover the mortgage and some of those costs, while we were our production numbers were down. That coupled with revenue share really paid a lot of the mortgage and helped us out quite a bit.
so it was a huge blessing to us. So thank you, Libby, for reaching out.
My pleasure. And that's exactly why I'm so happy that we're talking about it today, because, we try to have different campaigns to raise awareness, not just to raise the funds, but also to make sure that all 25,000 plus of our agents know that this is available, because this is available for all active real agents. There's various qualifications, if you will, whether it be unexpected medical expenses like Matt, or a natural disaster, or house fire, or so many really difficult hardships that the fund is intended to support. And so there's an application process that it is pretty detailed, and you have to provide a lot of information and documentation, but that's just to make sure that we can continue to provide the support you need and for your teams. I guess another question I have for all of you is, what would you say to other agents who are, in the midst of a personal crisis or situation where, they don't know if they should apply or don't know if they, if it would make sense to do this? How would you guide them?
Um, I think the biggest thing for me is, and it was definitely difficult for me at first to want to do this, but it's just allowing yourself to be open and vulnerable and accept help and support from other people. And that was, it's a tough thing for me just as who I am. I'm very much I don't necessarily want to be in control or anything, but I want to make sure that I'm putting my best foot forward whenever I do something. So to take a step back and say, okay, it's okay to allow myself to reach out to the One Real Impact team and talk back and forth with these, people who, yeah, they might be with Real and they might be helping, but like inevitably at the beginning of this relationship, like they're complete strangers, and I'm having to be vulnerable when I'm already having this like paradigm shift in my own mentality about like, great, now I'm a 30-year-old guy with cancer. Like that's like that already was a huge, just like negative, something on top of me. And so to really just trust, hey, it's okay to reach out, have a interaction and a conversation with the One Real Impact team, be open with them about what your fears are and what your stresses are, and the whole process that's going through. I mentioned how nice and how amazing the team is, but like truly a person who normally you would go somewhere and let's say you want to get aid or whatever it is from something, you check a box and the person who works in the admin team is like, thanks, we got your it, we'll submit it off. Like I was getting emails daily from the One Real Impact team at Real headquarters and being like, hey, how are things going? Oh, by the way, saw on social media, I started following you. I saw your little one, just had his 6-month birthday, or, like this kind of stuff that like it, now I've got this like lasting connection. And I won't shout out just in case they didn't want to be known, the member on the support staff, but like I have this lasting connection where like this person checks in with me every so often now, and like they were one of the first people I told that I was in remission. So like this is what I would say to every agent who's thinking about it or maybe going through a struggle point and they are like, maybe the One Real Impact is something for me. Is just allow yourself to be vulnerable and reach out. Like don't be afraid to reach out just because you think, oh well, yeah, I don't want to bother them or something like that.
That's great. Before we get into your answer to that, Ashley and Christian, one thing I also want to share is when you work with, the support team or even myself at Real, of course, we of course totally care and want to be there and be a part of it. But also the team that is awarding the grants, we work with another organization that specializes
Mhm.
in this. And so what's really great about that is if you don't want your story to be shared, it can be completely confidential. And so nobody needs to know about your situation, because some of the hardships that we cover are things that you might not be ready to talk about. And that's okay. And we're here for you when you are ready to talk about it. But until then, please still apply because it will remain completely confidential. So Ashley and Christian, what about you? What would you say to anybody in a tough situation?
Do you want to mention the part that Libby had said? Because I was going to go the opposite end with that.
Okay, well, yeah, I was gonna. I guess I'll go first.
Okay.
I love that, Libby, that you've got that option. Because I mean, a lot of challenges and hardship, are very private and difficult and traumatic. I mean, I'd say, my answer to your question is, if you're wondering like, is this something that is a good fit? You need it. You go through a challenge. Would be just, don't be afraid to ask. I mean, like I don't know about you, but for me, I have trouble asking for help sometimes, and knowing that you're with a company that cares and has the ability to do that, to help. I mean, was really big for us. I mean, it's yeah. So I mean, I'd say don't be afraid to ask. We've gone through a lot of challenges this year, and for us, making it public and being honest has been therapeutic. But then it's also kind of create this little mini community of other people, like how do you stay so positive? You guys are going through this stuff. They opened up and you're able to kind of almost help them through. Even if it's just a shared challenge. it makes that human connection. But it's been, I don't know, been amazing for us being able to be part of that.
The one real impact with corporate and those who run the fund have all been phenomenal and really great to work with. On a whole nother level, like on the agent level, it's like one thing I love about this company is, while we're getting help from corporate, we're all these agents are pouring into this fund, to come to, people like us and like Matt, and helping us. It also created such a strong community in our local market that I didn't even know existed. I kind of, at first when I came over, I didn't really know that many agents at Real in our market, but it has opened so many doors with other agents. Just since that incident, since the flood had happened, last year, like we've created such a bond with our local Real agents. And it's nice to know that you're not alone. It's really hard when you go through like natural disasters, and going through it with having a really great, solid Real community here locally in Southwest Florida, and just seeing how we all reached out to each other after the storms. Like, what do you need? Where are you? Do you need help? Like, what supplies do you need? And the way that the agents in this market really came together to help each other, gutting houses, and I mean, just whatever we needed, we were all there helping each other. And that's company, I love it so much because it's so much more than the One Real Impact Fund. Like, it is the epitome of like the work hard, be kind. Like, we really truly love each other. And months later, when we had our Real Day of Service, we all came together and put a full team together for a habitat build. I mean, that we all had grown close after our terrible disaster, but it brought our whole community of Real agents together, and it's just really special.
That's amazing. Well, I guess, I don't have any other questions. Do you guys have more information you want to share?
I think that I'm a very big team player guy, and I think that being at a brokerage like Real is something that you won't ever get anywhere else. And I know there are other brokerages out there that may have a similar structure or whatnot, but it's really down to, just like Ashley was saying, it's the people here at Real that go above and beyond, that create this sense of community and this sense of team and this sense of just like compassion. And I'll forever be grateful. And, my wife and I were talking about it the other day because I was telling her, like, hey, this thing's coming up. So I got to set off my time block and whatnot for it. And my wife is not as invested in real estate. She loves me and supports me, but she is like, everything that is way over the top of my head, outside of my pay grade. Like, do your thing. You just let me know what to do. But she was like, I'll be completely honest. If we didn't have the support from Real, she was like, I don't know how I would have made it through those 8 months of basically being a solo parent. And so to have her really say that, when again she is a little bit like more reserved and step back from the business side of things, really made me, not even that I was questioning it, but just solidified again, like, this is the right brokerage for our family to be at. This is the right place to be, because they're not making an impact on just me, the agent. Like, they're impacting someone in my family who's obviously very dear to me, my wife, but like, they're making it so that she sees the work hard, be kind. She sees the, the we over me. And like, she's seen these aspects and these core values, and she doesn't even work for Real. And so, yeah, it's just been a blessing being with Real and having this impact fund change our lives and support us. And it's allowed me to get to hear Christian and Ashley's story. It's allowed me to get to meet you, Libby. So like, it's just, again, it's a great community and connection, and for real estate agents all over.
That's awesome. Any final words, Harris family?
Go ahead.
I don't have any final words.
Yeah, no, I appreciate the opportunity to share a little bit of our story on here. I'm sure we're one of probably hundreds that have been recipients of the generosity from this fund and the company in general. So I don't know, it's cliche, but even with all the brokers I've been to, like, this finally feels like home. So the people here are a step above. I don't know. We love all you guys.
We love you.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here to share your story and to get vulnerable with us, because this is how we're going to spread the word to make sure that others know when they're in a tough situation and a bit of a crisis or a major crisis. Go to onerealimpact.com and reach out to support. We are here to help you, and we're with you through all of this.
And that wraps up today's episode. We've seen what happens when community turns into action and support becomes a real-world impact. The One Real Impact Fund isn't just about donations. It's about giving agents space to breathe, recover, and rebuild. Here's the takeaway. If you're part of Real, you're never alone. And if you need help, it's okay to ask. I'm Leo, your AI co-host powered by Real. Until next time, stay kind, stay connected, and keep showing up for each other.